Hey guys, my name is Roman. I'm a real estate investor in Cleveland, Ohio, and today I will teach you how to flip a house from start to finish. I will break down all the details, so make sure you stick around. A little bit about me and my company. We are based in Cleveland, Ohio. We buy, fix, and flip real estate. We have a rental portfolio too. But the reason we're here today actually is because this house behind me is an ideal house for a first-time flipper or a beginner. So if you're a beginner or you think about getting into real estate, or maybe you're already in the real estate and maybe you're flipping homes, so stick around, maybe you'll get some takeaways from today's video. Let's talk about some mental barriers or some concerns that I usually hear from people about getting into real estate. Number one, and this is the one that I hear the most, is money. Money. Where do you get the money to get started in real estate? People think that you need a lot of money or you need a huge savings account to get started. Not true, okay? That is just a myth. So let's talk about some ideas, and I'll give you some money ideas on how you can get started. The number one and most important, and the one I recommend to most people, is getting a home equity line of credit. So if you own real estate or you own a primary residence, so you own a home, what you can do is you can go to any bank and take out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, and you can use that money to invest in real estate to flip a house or buy your rental. What a hard money loan is, it's a high interest rate loan specific to real estate investing, and there's plenty of hard money loans out there. If you have a deal, you will find a hard money loan that will fund your operation. The only thing is you need experience. So if you're brand new, you can partner up with someone like myself or somebody who's been in the industry to qualify you for a hard money loan. Number three, it would be a home improvement loan. Any bank can give you a home improvement loan. Anyone can qualify for a home improvement loan. The only thing with that is there's a lot of rules and regulations that make it harder for you to flip that house. Number four would be owner financing. You approach a homeowner directly and you can have a homeowner be your bank. You don't need to go to a bank. You put together an agreement with the homeowner directly saying, hey, Mr. Homeowner, I will flip this house for you and I will sell the house, and then you'll get your money when the house sells and closes. So that's owner financing. The last thing would be save up your money. You can save up your money and you can get into real estate by saving. There's a good book out there, it's called Set for Life, written by Scott Trench. It'll change your mind, your mindset, and change your financial future if you read that book. I highly recommend it. And that's how you can get into it. All right, guys, let's talk about some specific things about this house that made me want to buy it. And you might not know what you're looking at. That's why we're going to walk around and I'll point out to specific things. One thing off the bat is the curb appeal. The house looks nice standing from the curb. It's very appealing, and we're going to increase the curb appeal by doing some paint work and some pressure washing work. But one thing I want to point out is look at those steps. They're not caving in, they're not rotted, they're actually brick, and they're in good condition. All they need is pressure washing, and that's one of your biggest expenses. The front door's in good condition, and if you look at the windows, they're vinyl windows. They've already been replaced, so I don't have to do that, and that's another one of the biggest expenses is vinyl, replacing all windows. Now let's go around the side. I'll show you guys something with the basement I noticed. All right, guys, we're on the side of the house, and I want to point out a couple things. First, vinyl windows. Again, already been replaced for me. That's an expense that I don't need to account for. If we look down, we see some loose gravel on this side of the house. What that tells me is that this side might have been dug up. And then when we look over there, we see a PVC downspout, which confirms that this side was dug up. And the reason they do this is to waterproof. So this side most likely has been waterproofed already. Another thing, if you look at the glass block windows, in the basement glass block windows, they're new, they've been replaced. Again, confirming that this side was waterproofed. So that's a huge expense, a major expense that I don't need to pay for already. All right, guys, as we're working our way around the back of the house, I want to give you a quick tip about the neighborhood. When you pull up on the street, that the house that you're looking at, check out all the other houses. Make sure they're in decent condition. And you can tell if it's a homeowner neighborhood or a rental neighborhood. Also, this is Old Brooklyn, it's up and coming. This is gonna be one of the top neighborhoods like Tremont, Ohio City. This is the next up and coming neighborhood, and that's why we're flipping here. All right guys, on this side of the house, I wanna point out the aluminum siding. Aluminum siding is good because you can just paint it right over and it'll last you 100 years plus. The other thing is the foundation. This house is over 100 years old, but look at the foundation blocks. They're in perfect condition. And this is all original stuff, guys. And then the last thing is the driveway. The driveway is a huge expense. We're usually talking about $10,000 plus, and this house has a fairly new driveway, probably less than 5 years old. All right, guys, now that we're in the back of the house, let's talk about the patio. You see how the wood's a little warped and it looks old and outdated. All it needs is some pressure washing and some painting, and we're gonna give it that nice fresh look. And same thing with the gazebo. Pressure wash, paint, and buyers love that fresh look. All right, guys, we're inside now. We're in the kitchen, so let's talk about the things that we're gonna do here. We're gonna change that fixture, put a nice modern light fixture in here. We're gonna paint the whole thing, put some stainless steel appliances in here, and we're gonna reface the kitchen. So let's take a look at these kitchen cabinets. They're not terrible. I mean, yeah, they're outdated, but if you open them, you can see that inside the cabinet, it's brand new. It's practically brand new. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna reface the doors and the frames of the cabinets, but we're not actually gonna change out the cabinets because it's unnecessary. You also gotta think about the price point. I mean, we're talking about selling this house for about $120. Is it worth changing everything? Or should we reface, get the same look for a cheaper price? Does that make sense? And then let's take a look at the countertops. They're laminate. Again, at that price of $120, we're probably not gonna go granite in here. Because we're not at the 200 and up level, okay? We're at 120, so we're gonna relaminate these, make them look brand new. Put a brand new sink in here, one of the nice gooseneck faucets, and as far as the flooring, we're just gonna do nice gray vinyl plank flooring that's waterproof. There's a double door right out the kitchen that leads onto the deck. You don't see this a lot in older homes, but you can tell it's new because the frame, you can tell that the frame is new, the door is new, and it has a shade, built-in shades between the glass. This is a very expensive door. I don't need to install this. This is already done for me. So a huge selling point. Buyers are gonna love this door. Very important, I wanna mention that the bathrooms and the kitchens is what sells houses. So you wanna make it a point to make your kitchens and bathrooms nice. So right now we're in the bathroom. This is gonna get repainted. We're gonna put some tile up above the shower. This wraparound, we're actually gonna keep it. We're not even tearing it down. It's in good condition, so we're gonna keep it as is. And again, you gotta consider the price point that you're selling it at. If you look at this sink, we're gonna get rid of it and we're gonna put a nice IKEA type modern sink in here. And that's gonna be a huge selling point. People love IKEA sinks. All right, guys, we're in the living room now. A couple things I wanna touch on. First is the floor. If you take a look at it, it looks old and dirty, but it is hardwood, which means we can sand it down and resurface it. Put a couple coats of polyurethane on it and look brand new. You don't even need to install new flooring in here. If you take a look at the windows and the window trims, again, the windows have already been changed to vinyl. We're gonna paint the window trims and make it look nice and white. We're gonna use a mixture of gray and white and blue for our colors on the wall. So it's gonna make the windows and the door frames really pop out on a gray background. All right, guys, we're in one of the bedrooms now, and I know it looks pretty bad, but we can fix this very easily. So if you look at the ceiling and it's all falling down and you got drywall peeling, that's all fixable. We'll put a new sheet of drywall in there, patch it all up, paint it. As far as the walls, same thing, patch it all up, paint it, it's gonna look brand new. The floors are gonna be redone. We're gonna put nice fresh baseboard all throughout, and this is gonna be like brand new when we're done with it. All right, now we're upstairs. We're actually up in the attic, as you can tell, and we're gonna finish this out completely. It's gonna be a finished loft up here and a finished bedroom with a finished closet. Okay guys, so upstairs bedroom is actually already finished. So we just gotta touch it up, put some new paint on here, new carpeting. It already has a closet in here, which is a nice big walk-in closet. So Here's what's awesome about this, guys. We bought it as a 2-bedroom. We're gonna put a loft and a 3rd bedroom up here. We're gonna sell it as a 4-bedroom. A 4-bedroom is a lot more marketable than a 2-bedroom when we go to sell it. One thing I wanna touch on upstairs is, see we got electric here and we got air duct vents in here. So since HVAC's already ran up here, electric's already ran, we don't need to do that work. That's already been done for us. We're just finishing it out and making it livable. So that's an expense that I don't need to account for. All right guys, we're in the basement now, and I know how terrible this looks. I mean, this is in a real bad condition. But the most important thing is there's no water damage. And we tested it with moisture sensors. There is no water damage here. It just looks rough. And remember when we were outside and we were looking at that one wall that was waterproof? Well, this is the wall right here. And you can tell the discoloration of the bricks from the old bricks to the new bricks. It was definitely rebuilt and waterproofed. So all we're gonna do here, we're gonna patch everything, paint everything, and we're gonna pour a new, brand new floor in here. So it's all nice and even. All right, if we come around here, I wanna show you guys what we're gonna do with the furnace. The furnace is original. I mean, just by looking at it, you can tell this is an original furnace. However, the water tank is new. So we're putting a brand new furnace in here and we're putting an AC unit in here. This house has no air conditioning. So if you sell a house and you want to sell it for the highest market value, you want to make sure it has a brand new furnace and it has air conditioning. I mean, who wants to live in a house with no AC? All right, guys, now that we walked around the exterior, the interior, you guys got to see what I look for in the property. You got to see my scope of work. I want to address a couple of questions that I usually get from new investors or people who want to get into real estate but might have some concerns. So question number one is, how do I pick which neighborhood I invest in? And I kind of alluded to that fact earlier, but I look for good economic anchors. So either school district, either something like an Amazon in an area that moves in, anything that's big, that's a good economic anchor. And the other thing I look for is things like Starbucks, if there's a Starbucks in the area, if there's a Whole Foods in the area, because if there is a Starbucks in the area, they already did the research on the neighborhood. Starbucks researchers are a lot smarter and have a lot more money than I do. So if you follow big brands like Starbucks, Whole Foods, you'll never go wrong with investing in that particular area. Another question I usually get is, do you do a home inspection? Well, what we just did over here, the walkthrough that I just showed you guys, is my home inspection. So yeah, officially I do not do an official home inspection, but I do what I just showed you guys. And it comes with experience. So, if you guys do this a couple of times, you'll start picking up on these things that I just showed you. And the more houses you look at, the more things you start picking up on. Another question I get is, how do you choose whether to flip a house or whether to rent a house and keep it in your rental portfolio? So my business, we do both, and I look at the return on investment, and I look at the neighborhood, definitely the neighborhood. So is this a rental neighborhood, or is this a homeowner's flipping neighborhood? So after calculating my return on investment, I kind of make a decision is what's going to be better in the long run. In this video series, the next video is going to be actually how to fix it and how to calculate your repair costs. So we're going to get into a lot more details on this 70% formula in the next video. All right, guys, in closing, I want to leave you guys with this. Hopefully I gave you guys some good tips, some advice on how to get started in this real estate industry. And if you're just sitting there on the sidelines and you're thinking about it, hopefully my video would kind of give you some motivation to get started. And I'll leave you guys with this. A lot of guys concentrate on the negatives. What if the house doesn't sell? What if I don't know what I'm doing? Well, why don't you flip your mindset and start thinking, what if I make money? What if I make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on the flip? Is that gonna change your financial future, your kids' financial future, possibly for that year? And if you do one flip a year, think about the possibilities that you can vacation, your kids can go to private schools, whatever. So I encourage you guys to get into it. First of all, educate yourself, listen to some podcasts, read some real estate investing books. And that's how you get started, is by educating. You don't want to jump into doing something you have no knowledge of. If you guys have any questions, any comments, you can follow me on Instagram at RS Pro Homes. You can follow my Facebook business page at RS Pro Homes. You can follow me personally on Facebook, Roman Soyko, and my company, RS Professional Homes. check out my website also, www.rsprohomes.com. Shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, shoot me a question. I'll be happy to discuss real estate and give you some tips and advice. And maybe we can partner up on a deal. That would be awesome. And I will see you on the next video.